Barber-Ous. Barber-Ous. Well, I gave that a try. Hey guys, I'm Mans9132, I'm the Robot Wars Guru. If there is one thing I love in the weird world of robots beating the ever-loving shit out of each other, it's originality. Being able to stand out from the crowd of other robots is very important, especially these days due to producers and audience members craving good-looking, interesting designs. Vertical spinners may be very effective, but things like Huge, Miss Nightshade and Jellyfish will always stand out to me because they go against the norm and try to introduce a new concept. Sure, they don't always work, and most are, to be honest, completely awful, but they will always get my respect for trying. And one robot that really caught my eye was Barber-Ous. The interesting thing about Barber-Ous was that it was original in two ways, not just one. It was original in its gimmick, being a robot that represents something, in this case a barber's pole, and it was also original in its build, a full-bodied vertical spinner. And yeah, okay, some may call it a full-bodied spinning drum, but drums are vertical spinners. See? They spin vertically! Barber-Ous was definitely an intriguing idea and design. But was it any good? Well, let's take a look. So let's kick things off by discussing the Series 5 version. I'll be honest here, it wasn't very effective. Sure, it had potential, seeing as it would be difficult to get a hold of and control, but potential is nothing compared to performance, and it didn't perform well. Now I know some of you may be thinking, oh my god, Anderson, it was against Panic Attack, so it was a very tough first battle! And yes, I agree, Panic Attack, being seeded 6 at the time, was a very tough first round opponent. But that doesn't excuse Barber-Ous from being a very unreliable machine in this series. Its weapon looked the part, but apart from a few scuffs, it barely did anything, and then it died after Panic Attack drove into it a few times. A few more pushes from the Yellow Peril later, and its drive also conked out. I simply cannot defend this amount of unreliability. Sure, Barber-Ous was an interesting concept in Series 5, and it looked good on paper, but in the Warzone, sadly it did not live up to it. For effectiveness, I'll give it a 2 out of 10, because it was at least able to cause slight damage to Panic Attack's top armour. As for entertainment, again I can't honestly rate it very highly. Sure, its battle against Panic Attack was good, but that was more because of Panic Attack's driving control and ability to outmaneuver a robot that's hard to grab a hold of, more so than the few scrapes that Barber-Ous did to Panic Attack's lid. Still, it looked cool in the arena, so 3 out of 10 seems very fair, giving the Series 5 version a total of 5 out of 20. On to the Series 6 version now, and Jesus backwards, talk about an improvement! This is exactly what the first Barber-Ous should have been. Not only had it been made wider, allowing it to hit robots easier, it also was much more reliable and had a lot more power behind it. In its first round melee, it managed to immobilise both Granny's Revenge and 4x4 in the same battle as Hypnodisc! It outdid Hypnodisc! That's impressive, as it's being able to not only tear off one of Cat 3's side panels, but chuck it over effortlessly. And Cat 3 weighed 97 kilos at this point. Also, it was able to hit robots and not die, for the most part. Yes, sadly, reliability was still a small niggle for this machine, as shown in its heat final against Hypnodisc. One hit was all it took to end a very impressive run for Barber-Ous. I'd love to give this an 8 out of 10 for effectiveness because goddamn, it did its fair share in this series. However, I can't give it the full Monty because of the reliability issues, so it's a 7 out of 10 from me. However, this series, Barber-Ous was not only much more effective, but it was also much more entertaining as well. Not only did it look like a real barber's pole this time, but it sent bits of armour flying, chucked robots over, and nearly managed to knock Granny's Revenge out of the arena. That's entertainment. 8 out of 10 for entertainment, which gives Barber-Ous 2 a strong 15 out of 20. And last but not least, we have Barber-Ous 2 and a bit for Extreme 2 and Series 7. And sadly, it all went downhill so quickly. Why? That wonderful R word that has been used a lot in this review, reliability. It killed itself in its Series 7 first round melee, which is a shame considering it was bossing the fight up until that point. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the spinner battle because Mr. Psycho basically ended that for them and they were on top in the fight. 2 and a bit was still more effective than the Series 5 counterpart, but it really lacked the reliability and the killer instinct that the Series 6 version had. Sure, it could send robots flying still, but it couldn't KO them as quickly as it KO'd itself, which is a big problem when looking at how effective a robot can be. Can you honestly call a machine effective if it kills itself more than it kills its opponents? No, sadly you can't. So I'm giving 2 and a bit a 5 out of 10 for effectiveness. Sadly it doesn't get much better for being entertaining either. Sure, it was cool to look at and it did chuck things around a bit, but it always lost before it had a chance to excite me more than the Series 6 version did. 4 out of 10 for entertainment, giving Barber-Ous 2 and a bit a total of 9 out of 20. So overall, Barber-Ous 2 from Series 6 was by far the best version of this robot in my opinion. It was strong, looked good, was entertaining, and could pack a mean punch. The other 2 versions were okay, but had serious issues to work out. It's honestly a shame that they never won a heat though, because they definitely had the potential to go far. Still, fair play to the team for bringing in something original. And that's it for this review and this video. A huge thank you to the Seaborg for requesting it. Do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Answer 9132 the Robots Guru, and I'll see you next time.